Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. In this video we'll discuss the pushback against the LGBTQ plus minus policies that in the West were institutionalized, very hard word, institutionalized, and it seems like the people push back on that. Now, we're going to discuss if that's good, if that's bad. But before we go there, I would like to set the premises. It's always harder to take something back than to not give it at all. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're in a relationship, intimate relationship with someone. And you have intimate activities and you become a little bit kinkier. And then all of a sudden the partner refuses after a while to get involved in those kinky activities. It's harder to accept that than it would have been at the beginning not given to you. So the same, if someone gives you a present, they give you a bicycle. And then after a few days they come and say, give me back your bicycle. Your anger usually is much greater than if I don't give you the bike at all, because you don't lose anything or you don't gain anything, but you started by not having it in the first place, versus the other option, you were given that and then taken away. The problem is sometimes certain things are given without, how should I put it, without the right of being given. So they're given in the wrong way and they say, oh wait, we made a mistake, give me back that. Now that's hard. So look at this situation where certain policies are rolled back, for instance, in Hungary or in the United States of America right now, some people say, well, you gain those things, but you shouldn't have gotten them in the first place. So you can cry now, but you shouldn't have been given them. Look at that like that. Or, you deserve that and now the bad people will take that back from you. And we discussed that. That's the first topic of this video. Yes, the second one is Trump wants to make the English language the official language in the United States of America. I think that should have been done a long time ago. A long time ago. I mean, why didn't they do it? Because it was self-understood who made up this country, right? Who put it together, right? They didn't have to write like, oh my God, I have to say that. No. It's certain things that are self-understood. I don't have to put a tattoo here and say I'm a man or I'm a female or whatever I am. No, it's self-understood. Now, if you have to do that, then that means there's a problem. And there is a problem if you have to say, hey, you know what, here is my evidence, I'm a man. Or hey, this is the evidence this country has to have English as its legal language. And the third topic of this video is the United States agreed to a Russian ambassador, new envoy to Washington, D.C. That is, these guys are moving forward and the Europeans are going the opposite direction. So let's start with the first one. We're going to start with Hungary. Russia Today. Hungary to ban LGBTQ parades, according to the Prime Minister-elect, about 5 times, I think, in Hungary. The Prime Minister has previously suggested that the organizers of the Pride event should not bother to prepare for it. Pride parades will no longer be allowed to take place on the streets of Budapest, the capital of Hungary. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban declared in an interview with local radio on Friday, Radio Kossuth. He argued that such events are detrimental to children. Speaking, how did I know that? I didn't read this. Speaking to Radio Kossuth, Orban stated that the only reason the LGBTQ events took place in the capital was because they were being led by former American Ambassador David Pressman, Jewish. And I think he's also homosexual. I don't think I know. Which clearly expressed that the world's great powers support this. Now, how do I know that? Not personal involvement, all right? But now, and I'm quoting, there has been a change in the world. Orban noted. He added that since Pressman left the country in January, ahead of the inauguration of US President Donald Trump, pride parades are, and I'm quoting, no longer under international protection. This Pressman, the ambassador, participated in those parades, just so you know, in Hungary. And I'm quoting, so this kind of thing is no more. It's over now, Orban said, adding that such events shouldn't have been necessary before either. Did you catch that? These events shouldn't have been necessary. Now, do you do this only because a foreign country changes view? I thought that Hungary is independent. I thought that Hungary is sovereign. I think that it has their own traditions, culture. You know, they have that baboonish thing over there, but I'm not going to mention it. I was about to. I thought it would have been a mistake. For you, not for me. You know I'm not a believer, but that's another thing. Not a believer because believe in what? Believe in me. That's it. All right. As you can believe in yourselves. Actually, you should. If, you have skills. If you don't have skills, don't believe in yourself. Try to achieve skills first. Achieve things, and then you can believe in yourself. That is called self-esteem movement. No, you should have self-esteem, but you don't deserve it. That's false self-esteem. That means at the first challenge, you will be disintegrating. All right, so he said no more pride parades. Obviously, people say, oh my God, this is awful. Some people, all right, say that. Some people say that's fantastic. In a free world, you should have whatever opinion you have or preferences, as long as you don't hurt anybody else. Now you can say, well, what would that hurt? Well, he says children. Would that hurt children? I don't know. I mean, I'm for people's expression. If someone wants to parade, like whatever they want to put a feather in their ass and walk around, I don't care, man. As long as the children are protected, I'm okay with that. Freedom of expression, I'm okay. Now, to call the United States of America the Pride Month, I disagree with that. Because I think that's not unifying. We have 12 months, and one of them is Pride Month. We have a minority that has its celebration. And I can tell you some of the things that could be more unifying than that. Let's say the month of love, not lust. Lust is different than love. So the pride thing, don't put it together with love. Otherwise it will be the month of love, and everybody can celebrate that, including, heterosexuals and those guys who are, you know what I mean? But it's not like that. We can make, for instance, the month of, let's say, America, or let's say humanity, or freedom, or beauty, and all these things should be unifying in general. But no, they picked this, so that's not unifying. Remember, it was given maybe, according to Orban, and should not have been given in the first place. All right, next one. I'm going to stay in the United States now. CNN, please read the headline clearly and carefully. Iowa, the state of Iowa, gives final approval to a bill removing gender identity protections despite massive protest. All right. So, removes gender identity protection. So, some group was protected and others were not, despite massive protests. Now, if they don't tell me the number, and the number of people that they say are protesting is not massive, they are lying by exaggeration. Words have meaning. Massive. How much would you think a massive protest is? So if it's in one city, I would say massive. Let's say New York City. Massive would be 1 million people. Let's say 200,000 people in New York City. A population of what? 12 million, 14 million, how much that is? Anyway, I'm just saying. Now, if it's in a city in Iowa, let's say you got 2 million people population, what's a massive group? I don't know, 70,000 people? 100,000 people? Not 20,000. That, for me, is not massive. Proportionately. The same with a pandemic. A pandemic from 100%, how much is a pandemic? 1%, you call it a pandemic, 2%, 3%, 50%, 25%? You know why I said it. So let's see, maybe these guys give us a number. Iowa lawmakers became the first in the nation to approve legislation removing gender identity protections from the state's Civil Rights Code Thursday. despite massive protests by opponents who say it could expose transgender people to discrimination in numerous areas of life. We have, all right, no, let's look and find how these guys justify the word massive. Let's look for a number. All right, hundreds of LGBTQ, hundreds, they don't give you a number, hundreds. Advocates streaming into the Capitol Rotunda on Thursday, waving signs reading "Trans rights are human rights." Well, why don't you ask me as well? I think I should have a say in that as well, if that's indeed right. Now, here, they should be allowed to do whatever they want. As I said, you want to be one of that, dress like that, have a lifestyle like that, I'm all for it, guys. You do it. If you can't have children on your own, I don't think you should children, if you know what I mean, around you. That's me. But you can't make me call you however you want me, or to institutionalize the pronouns garbage you identify with. Otherwise, I can call myself God, or your boss, or your daddy. Maybe something like that. Anyway, you know what I mean, as your parent, or the police officer. Why not? Why only that? I feel like one. Always I feel like a god. My God damn it. All right? So what the hell? Sorry. Nothing happened. So here you have, my friends, trans rights are human rights. Okay, you can say that. Hundreds. Now that's the massive. Now here you have, out of 167 people who signed up to testify at a 90-minute public hearing, all but 25 were opposed of the bill. So let's look for some more numbers. Massive. You know why they did it this way? Because that's what it is. The rotunda. They don't show you that's empty over there. Anyway, so 200 people. How many? How many people are? Hundreds. And they said massive. That's a lie. Again, if you want to be a, how do you call it, transvestite, I'm all for it. I met some of them. I'm okay with them. I have no problem with them. I shake hands with them. I don't kiss hands. But I'm okay. No problem with that. But don't push that on me. And remember, that's out of the ordinary, which is called abnormal, which is called perversion. The dictionary says it, not me. So you should, human rights right here, and this is what, all right? Okay, so this is this. We can make human rights now out of, I'm not conflating one with another from the very beginning. I don't know, people who engage in certain kind of sexual acts or certain criminal activity, we're going to make them now human rights are human rights because they have a problem. I'm talking about the bad people with children. You know what I mean? I can't use it here, So we're going to make them normal now because they like that kind of thing? And, oh my, there's discrimination? No, they should be criminalized. Not this. Transvestites could be okay. Go ahead. Yourselves, change your things on your money. On your money, you change your things. But don't push it on me. All right, next one. Russia Today. Trump to make English only official US language. Wall Street Journal. Pushed by Russia Today. A new executive order reportedly aims to promote unity and efficiency, rescinding previous mandates for multilingual federal services. So they had mandates in the past, and not the Constitution. The Constitution, I don't think it says anything, but all the documents are written in English, so it makes, from the very beginning, shut the hell up. I'm not going to say taci din gură, pușcata. No, multilingual federal services. So that's a mandate. So he's going to say it. He's going if these guys made it that way, I can make it this way. Is it right? You think it was right then? Now I think it's right now. Remember, and I'm not promoting or supporting it, slavery, up to about 150 years or so, it was very much legal in our history, world history. So for how much you want your history? You want your history 6,000 years? As the Bible says, or whatever. You want that? Okay, 6,000 years. Out of 6,000 years, only in the last 150 years, slavery was banned, illegal. Thank God. All right? So the rest, and we changed. So we realized, against God the Father, who said slavery is, including Jesus, I will show you. If I'm a servant to my master, what should I do? Go and serve to your master. Oh, thank you. All right. servant slash slave. Anyway, so what do you have here? These guys are changing something. That now say, no, that was wrong, now it's right. Now probably in the next, few years it's going to be what's now right is going to be wrong, and so on. So certain things, like for instance eugenics. You remember eugenics? Yeah, they were considered fantastic in the past. In the 1800s and early 1900s. In the United States of America, and so on. Now it's considered evil. All right, and many other things like that. Could be good and bad. The same here. He says, no, we're going to make it for unity. And I think for unity. Do you remember, I'm going to support this with a Christian argument. Actually, not a Christian, but a Old Testament, the Jewish argument. And then, the Tower of Babel? Remember the Tower of Babel? Babel. Right? When God said, the people are going to build a tower to get to a sky, right? Get over there and be like us and be proud of themselves. So let's do what? Let's destroy their language. It was only one language according to the Bible at the beginning. Let's make them so they don't understand one another, so they cannot cooperate. Unity, you say? And say, okay, abracadabra, bagalum pakakum. And the humans had languages from God. So that was to destroy their unity. So what Trump says right now, it's only logical. You want to have a unified country, you have to have the same language. Otherwise, we're going to pull left and right. That's why diversity is not our strength in this case. So let's see what this guy is saying. Several media outlets, including Reuters and Associated Press, have reported that Trump is expected to sign the order on Friday. But Friday night, however, the White House had not confirmed the enactment. While agencies will still be permitted to offer documents and services in languages other than English, I'm okay with that, the administration argues that the move promotes unity, establishes efficiency in government operations, and creates a pathway for civic engagement. According to the White House, we have languages coming into our country that nobody here has ever heard of. It's a very horrible thing, Trump said. Well, imagine that you always need translators. When you go and get, I remember a long time ago, you go and take a driver's license test in the United States of America, they had translators ready for you, paid by the state to come over and translate. And those translators also did your test for you too. I heard. Anyway, so I know that for a fact, actually. No, I don't. Anyway, no, I didn't. I knew English when I came here, so I'm out of it. And let's go to the last one, which is U.S. approves Moscow's new envoy. Alexander Darchiev will take over as Russia's ambassador to the United States following key negotiations. Fantastic. The United States has approved Alexander Darchiev as Moscow's new ambassador to Washington, Russia's foreign ministry has announced after bilateral talks in Turkey this week. Very good, very good. His appointment follows diplomatic discussions in Istanbul on Thursday, where Russian and U.S. officials addressed issues affecting their embassies. The two nations are working to mend strain, They'll focus, beep. Let's see what else. Darchiev, jubu. What is the Russians? What is the Americans? Doesn't say. All right. Here it is, my friends. Very good news, very good news. Remember, the fact that you were given something at one point, it doesn't mean that necessarily is right. Like, for instance, slavery. Remember that history? That thing with the history? Or eugenics, if you want. The fact that at one point those things were like this, that we realized it was not. The problem is, you harm anybody? I mean, if you extrapolate with things, your face bothers me. So should I change it? So you see, we don't go that far. I'm okay with them being around. I'm okay with them living however they want. Respectful, you can be respectful. You're always going to find people who don't like it and act stupidly on all sides. So don't expect that if you're going to protect them by something, you're not going to find people doing bad stuff to them. The same is the argument with the guns, handguns. Take the handguns from the law-abiding citizens in the United States of America, and there will be no more crime, man. No more mass shootings and garbage. I'm not saying they should not probably minimize it, but the thieves will have the guns, the assholes will have the guns, the guys with bad stuff, and they will come and go into my house, and how am I going to defend myself? Let's go? I don't think so. Let's go! Like that. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.